Awaken to your truth that you are the I Am presence in harmony with the divine. You are consciousness beyond what the body and mind identify. This is Moment to Moment. Host Lynda Hope will remind and enlighten you to know your divine nature. You were born into the body already aware, but forgot it as you expanded your sense of identity, ego mind, pattern behaviors, and habits. Stop sleepwalking and wake up to your timeless, eternal, formless self. Now, your host of Moment to Moment, Lynda Hope.
Good evening. Namaste to everyone joining me again on Moment to Moment. And this evening, we're going to talk about what we believe to be very mysterious, and something that we can't quite put our finger on. Many things in life are sort of that way, isn't it? But we're going to be talking about what is intuition. What is intuition? And is that really our divine connection? Is that where we line up and tune into the source, energy that we are? Is that intuition? We are born as human beings with equal parts of intuitive, intellectual, and emotional intelligence. But I know this to be true that in schools, they're more interested in your intellectual intelligence. And yet some schools are also involved in emotional intelligence as a program to deal with children's emotions, to deal with their outbursts, right? Their duality, their anger and their hyper, the ADHD situation that is occurring quite a bit. And emotionally, they want them to understand when they do feel an emotion, what do they do with it? So that's really what emotional intelligence is. But as intuition is, what is that in us? Right? We tune into that. And yet, can we really know what that is? Because our thoughts, we're very tuned into our thoughts, correct? We're tuned into all the thinking that happens, and we believe our thoughts, and all of a sudden we are in form again, and we are expressing through this body exactly what our thoughts are telling us. And when we identify so closely to them and attach ourselves to the thought, there is no way that we see our intuition. We can't even, it clouds who we really are, which is all source energy, which is oneness. And so can you awaken to the knowing that you are here now? That's all there is. In this present moment, when you are listening to me, can you focus? Can you have full attention? Can you put aside all your distractions? Like I'm scratching my right here. Can you put away all the distractions and tune in right now? And whatever you hear or see in this moment is felt. Can you do that? And if you see a thought, can you allow that thought just to be seen and not hook yourself to that thought? For this one time, it's one moment, just 30 seconds, maybe, just 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. I'm not going to time you. We're not going to time this, but can you just listen to me speak? And in between my words, in the stillness, can you use that as an opportunity to be still within yourself right now? Because this is the place of intuition. This is the place that creativity also arises because you are connected to the stream of all, of source. And then that voice of some insight, or it says, call your friend, or it comes with a question, or it answers a question. And it feels, something different than a regular thought, right? It feels different. We're going to talk about that. So how do you tap into that place of intuition? And some people do that when they're driving. I find my intuition being very strong when I'm driving. You're focused so much on the road, right? And then all of a sudden, you have this impulse, or you feel some energy coming through, like there's a car. I had this experience where it was really dark, but I felt the energy of another car coming up. And I slowed up, and all of a sudden he came up and cut me off in the front. And I knew that. I didn't even have to see him. I knew it. I knew it because that intuition, that feeling inside of me shifted. And I recognized it. And that's where we talk about how to know the truth of who you are, actually seeing, recognizing you as source. Now, we can talk about what some people experience when intuition arises in them, and one of them is a gut feeling, right? There's something in your gut. It's telling you, okay, this feels a little different. This feels, either it says stop, or it says, tune into your body. What are you feeling right now? It brings your awareness, right? It wakes you up. But then there's also a knowing outside the mind and emotions. We talked about that. There's a sense of a knowing something. Something became known in that minute. Or it doesn't come, we have to separate again, not the mind, not the emotion, not even an analytical skill, not even knowing a skill, because that's form, that's intelligence. So it's not about that either. And you can't get intuition through reading a book and say, oh, I'm going to learn about intuition. Well, we are talking about it, and we are talking concept. And so, yes, this is a way into it through pointings that I'll share with you. But even that can be a little bit limiting as well. And the only way that you can access it truly is a place of stillness and quietness, which is, again, what we talked about, the stillness that you are expressing itself. And as you tune into these energies, you'll get very sensitive to that. You'll feel the shift when that intuitive hit happens. Then you feel a strong emotion. You feel a strong emotion towards someone or something, let's say, and it all of a sudden makes sense. Oh, okay, that's why I felt that way, right? Or you get a glimpse of a person or situation that came out from nowhere, and you say, wow, what am I thinking that for? Like today, I had a choice of going one place or the other, and I just tuned in, and that one place did not feel right, and the other place was a yes, a sure yes, right? Now I don't know if you were familiar with Carolyn Myss, MYSS. She's a medical intuitive. So intuition is when people are very in tune with their intuition, like she is. She was trained, of course, and she had very much of with a person who was also very much into this medical intuitive. He was a medical intuitive and trained her, because it does take training. I mean, you could be very intuitive, but for medical intuitives, they go through a lot of training. And I'll read you a little bit about what a medical intuitive is. The basis of medical intuition is that the body and the biofield hold information pertaining not only to physical imbalance, but also to emotional, mental, and spiritual imbalances. Medical intuition is designed to bring the underlying energetic causes and drives of illness, imbalance, and disease to conscious awareness. It helps promote well-being in the body, mind, and spirit. This invaluable skill is intended to provide a comprehensive, whole person context for health. And here's new definitions of medical intuitive. Medical intuition is a skill of intuitive observation and assessment using a system of expanded perception gained through the development of the human sense of intuition. Medical intuition focuses on in-depth intuitive scanning designed to obtain information from both the physical body and the biofield. Medical intuition is designed to address the energetic influence of thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, and how they may impact the health and well-being of an individual. So we are deeply interested in knowing what the body really wants for optimal health and balance. And medical intuitives offer patients and clients the potential to gain greater personal awareness and insight, and to become a partner in their own wellness journey. Most importantly, medical intuitives can help unlock the door to relevant and profound breakthroughs when people aren't healing, despite their best efforts. And I would think that that's extremely important because sometimes we're blocked, right? There's something that is a subconsciously, we are preventing our well-being. Maybe we've been holding on to something that we've patterned in our parents. And we haven't realized it until we actually ask our body what's going on. And that's what we're going to talk about that in a minute, because there are 6 ways, really great ways that you can develop your own intuition today. And we're going to go into that a little bit. So as we tune in, you can realize that one of them being, you can ask your body, why am I feeling the pain in my back? Or why am I feeling indigestion? Is there something that's not agreeing with me right now? Because the body can tell you a lot. It tells you a lot. I remember I have a friend that says, is it on the right side or is it on the left side? Is your knee hurting you on the right or is it hurting you on the left? And they said the left side is feminine, I think, or male, and the right is female. I'm trying to remember which side is what. But there are differences on your body. So if you're having a relationship issue with a man or a woman and you have interesting, on your right or your left side, you could pretty much pinpoint what's going on with some of your relationships. The lower back, I think, is they talk about that as a lower relationship problem. And I've noticed that quite a bit in my life, throughout my life, when I've had male issues, my back starts hurting me. Again, is it intuitive, or are you just sending that message to your back that, this is what's going on, and you're waiting for it to hurt you? Yeah, that could be interesting too. It's sort of a power of suggestion, right? So it's a fascinating topic, right? I don't think we have really clear answers. I think the mystery of intuition within ourselves is sort of like the mystery of source. I believe them very connected, because if you're looking outside yourself for information, you're looking outside yourself for source or God, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to find it. You're going to find it only within yourself. And so there's the mystery, because the mystery is looking outside yourself and not finding it, and then realizing, there's no mystery at all. That's I love this topic. Anyway, all right, we're going to go into the 6 ways we can develop your intuition today. And the first one is meditate and be present. And that's what we talked about earlier, right? Be present now. Now, what does meditation do? I've been a meditator for decades, and I realized that in my meditation, I was so still, and mostly I would close my eyes and meditate. And I was very, very still, and my mind clutter, my monkey brain started to settle down. And over the years, it's become more quiet. And now that I'm present in the moment, I can see it and not attach myself to it. So meditation helps those who have a problem with quieting their minds. And just by being still in even a minute or two, just focusing in on your breath, just breathing consciously, and just, again, not attached to the mind, but just focusing in on the body, there is relief felt, because probably for the first time, you're not thinking. And there is that, ooh, wow, it feels good. So meditation is a tool to bring you into the present moment and to allow you space from your thoughts. And also know that you are this presence, that you are this stillness and quiet. You're not the person meditating. Really, you are the stillness. And this stillness is who you are. So if you can meditate at least a few times throughout the day, just for maybe 1 or 2 minutes, taking a breath, conscious breath, and noticing how quiet and still you feel, and the sense of spaciousness, and aliveness. And meditation, what's so great about meditation is that if you are tired, meditating is a lot more rejuvenating than sleeping. So 10 minutes of meditation wakes you up. It's better than 10 minutes of sleep. I found that to be true for me. Yeah. All right. So number 2, practice being the witness of your mind, emotions, and sense perceptions. And this is absolutely the witness of it, right? We are the witness, we are the observer. And as the observer, you are really behind the lens of perception. So if you were to tune into your body and pretend that your eyes are the lens and you are behind your eyes, you are sitting back behind your eyes looking out. It sort of feels like like you're pulling back, right? You're pulling in behind the lens, looking out. All this spaciousness behind your eyes. And if you can focus there, you become more alert. There's sort of a sense of alertness there. And then when you sense a thought, when you see a thought, again, it's just a thought unless you let it take you out of this moment, pull you out right now. And then all of a sudden you're lost in thought. Or the same thing with emotion. All of a sudden you feel something come up for you. Just notice it. Sometimes, when I was meditating, we would meditate for quite a long time, 45 minutes sometimes. And you'd feel, oh my goodness, I'm sitting in the chair and I can't, my back's hurting me. Well, that's enough to distract you, right? So you use that as the meditation. You use that as, oh, I sense my back hurting me. I sense that, but I'm not my back. I am just going to witness it, and I may not do anything about it. I can just sit here and just be here and notice it. And then I would notice that pain subside because I wasn't feeding it. I was not recognizing it as important, and it would leave. just as thoughts do. When the thought just comes, it doesn't get your attention, it just leaves. Yeah. And emotions, right? If you're coming up with some feeling, it's just a feeling. Huh? Who knows why it's there? Let it go. And it will go. Because it always does. What does not go is your presence, consciousness about it. Consciousness that you are is always, always here. Always. And again, if you hook to your thoughts or your emotions or any of the distractions, take you out, your sense perceptions, pull you out of this moment. It's always here, though. It hasn't left. And that's the important knowing that you are that you are this consciousness. And when you are this, that's when your intuition is sharp. That's when you'll get those impulses. That's when you'll get suggestions pop in. And you'll recognize it as a knowing. Okay. Now, number 3, tune into your body and your gut instinct. Into your body. Well, the same token, we're talking about, where we're feeling uncomfortable. What is our gut saying to us? In the moment when we get that information, do we feel like we want to act on something right away, or do we want to take a moment to check in? Most of the time, we don't check in, right? I'll give you a great example today. I was making reservations. I'm traveling cross country, and I had to make 3 different reservations. And the first reservation, I had no problem. Zip, 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 did it online. Second reservation, there was a little bit of hesitation in I felt hesitant. I felt a little bit lost in that decision. Like, really, should I? Where am I on the road? Is it right off the expressway? I had a little bit more concern around that reservation. And as I narrowed it down to, it has to allow pets, it has to be, right off the highway, and so on. I went on the computer, checked it out, went on the wrong link. It said hotel reservations. It wasn't that hotel reservation. It was a company representing that hotel. Yes. So I realized after I bought it, and they charged all kinds of money for it, and then I realized, whoops, it's not the hotel. Of course, I canceled. But I ended up having to go again and making it more of an issue. Why? Because there was something vibrationally off there. It didn't feel right. Didn't feel right. And on with the third reservation, no problem. Poke, boom, boom, great. So you can sense when you look back and you say, why did I have problems there? What was the issue there? You could pretty much understand that you created that. In your vibration, there was something right. Nothing was going right in that moment. That would have been the right time. Instead of wanting to get to that third reservation and get it over with, that would have been the time to sit back, check in, and say, doesn't feel right. Let's look at it again. So take your time. Of course, time is an illusion, but, we do deal with time in the 3D, absolutely. And make it your friend. That's the key. Make it your friend, not your enemy. And have patience, because that's a virtue. You know that. So I rushed through that to get to the other one, because I don't like making reservations. That's not where I like to spend my time. But if you don't agree to the moment and have happiness in the moment, it's not going to be as good as the, moment can be. And that's what it is, right? Make that moment your friend. Make this moment your friend. You have no other option because this is the only moment you have. Last moment is gone, and the next moment will never be the future because there's never a future. No, it's always present. All right, so spend time tuning into your body. Don't run to do, what you think you're going to have to get done because you have to get to the next appointment. Don't rush. If you've got to do something important, do not rush. And check in. And then check it again and just check into your vibration. How do I feel right now in this? Why is there any resistance? And if there is, don't do it. I had a friend that said, if it's not a yes, if it's not a yes, don't do it. Yeah. And that's a good thing because if your body, there's something about it that's not quite feeling right about it, there's going to be an aftermath of something or you're going to make somebody unhappy potentially, because every decision we make potentially makes somebody unhappy potentially. Or if it's just about you, making you unhappy in the moment. But I just did. I rushed through it. Then I created more problems for myself in that moment because I knew something was not quite lining up. Okay. All right. So that's good for that. Number 4, spend time outside. And you know why that makes a lot of sense. Because it's like meditation. You go outside and you're in nature and you're feeling godly. You're feeling close to the divine. You are the divine. You are one in that moment and you are experiencing fantastic miracles all around you, right? Birds and flowers and the sky, which there's really no sky, but it looks like a sky and it's all blue, right? But if you took a spaceship up to the sky, there wouldn't be any sky, just wouldn't be there. But isn't that amazing how we see it with our eyes and believe it? And it's a miracle. A lot of things we don't really are not form. It's all formless. It's all a mystery. And yet we can experience it through this body and enjoy it just for what it is. Just because we're awake and we can appreciate and value it in the moment. Because most of the time, what do? We really don't look. We don't really see. I guess people say, we see, but we don't really look. We hear, but do we really hear? Do we taste, but do we really taste? Do we feel? Do we really feel in the moment? So can you be totally present as you walk outside? Feel the earth under your feet, feel the wind on your face, and be grateful? Yeah, that's where you get very intuitive. Absolutely. Okay, number 5. Free yourself from distractions. And distractions can be in a lot of forms. Tech, of course. Maybe take a tech fast. Yeah. Uh-oh, can you concerned? Shut off your phone for 24 hours? Is that actually possible? Can people actually do that? Can you turn it off for an hour? Can you turn it on mute and not get your signals? You go ding, and you got to answer the phone right away. Whoa, wait, what message was that? Right? Can you free yourself? That's the trick. How do you free yourself from distractions? Well, you can witness it. Everything that comes across your sense of perception is witnessed. And the only reason it's a distraction is you allow it to take you out of this present moment. Now, sometimes you can catch yourself planning. I'm moving my house, so I am planning. There are things I have to plan. I have to be able to move myself from one location to another location miles away. It takes planning. How do I stay in the present moment while I'm planning? Well, by being alert that I'm consciously planning. Oh, there's my mind planning again. Now, if I start adding a commentary about the plan, like it's too difficult, or I don't know why I made this in the first place, and da 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 da, all that, right? Emotional, psychological noise, I'm going to be totally distracted and lost in the thought until I wake up again and say, wait. I just lost myself. And that happens, that can happen periodically, but if you don't wake yourself up and you constantly are living that way, then you're never really awake, are you? You're sort of unconscious doing a lot of different things, running from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and not being conscious about anything you're doing. Maybe you are. And maybe you're hearing me and saying, maybe that is me. Maybe I can wake up a little bit. Maybe that would be good. Maybe I wouldn't be losing my keys, and maybe I wouldn't be behind in my bills, and maybe I would. It's a lot of things that distract us from getting the things done way we need to get them done. Because in that moment when you are present, you will have a voice that says, I think I have to pay my blah, blah, blah rent or something, or, oh, I need to take my car in. Those little things, those little pointers, they do come up, and they're helpful, right? Because you might have forgotten it. You may not even have to make any lists anymore if you're very intuitive, because you'll have your mind, your mind will be your friend, and it will alert you to what you need to have done or need to do in the next, day or so, or even in the same day. So be in tune, and don't think that if I'm only in the moment, can I really get things done? Because yes, you can, but it's in ease. It flows. It becomes more organic, and it doesn't stress you out, because moving can be very stressful if I let it. Everything can be stressful if you let it. Sure can. So try to take a tech break. Turn off your computer, turn down your phone. Maybe take your watch off. Forget the time. Let yourself be in the flow of the moment and see what happens. Hi Jessica, how are you? Asana, hello. Barbara, hello. Todd, we're saying hello now so we can focus again into the sixth way we can be tuning in to our intuition. Journaling. Now, sometimes we want to write down some things, how we're feeling in the moment, right? What we're experiencing, and we want to sort of tune in, be present, and just write, right? It becomes fluid. Sometimes doodling is fun, right? We're doodling, and when we're doodling, we're not in our heads. That's why those wonderful books, meditation, coloring books, you're just coloring it in, and it's really a lot of really cool books like that, and you're not thinking. And that's why people who are doing the coloring books love it, because it gets them into a very, very quiet place. Yeah. And Jessica, you said video journaling. Yeah, anything to bring you into a sense of the now, focused attention. Last time I talked about how people who are athletes are very much in the zone, right? Or climbing mountains, they can't be thinking. They have to be really one step at a time, otherwise they'll fall. So anything that brings you clarity in the moment, creating, being an artist. As an artist, I've been very blessed to have always been when I paint and draw and all that, aware, being more aware in what I was looking at, what the colors are, what the shapes look like, texture. Yeah. And that feeling was my sense of self. My sense of source was very shining through in those moments of creating. And so intuition and creativity are just like this. They're from the same place, which is source, which is who you are. Yes. So in a couple minutes, I'm going to ask my beautiful guests here to help me along in this and explain or talk about their intuition and how they can tap it in, how they can tap into it and be present. But first, we have a station break. We honor our sponsors. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Moment to Moment.
Want to see your video here? Sponsor WLTK-DB Talk Radio and watch us make that happen. With your paid sponsorship of $80, you receive a professional produced audio, video, and banner placement on our station. Not only does your sponsorship air during our live shows, but also replayed on our podcast and heard by hundreds of like-minded people. Visit WLTK-DB.com to get started and find out just how hard we work to get you noticed.
Welcome back to Moment. And I love this topic, intuition. How do you tap into your intuition and where does creativity come from? And we were saying that intuition and creativity are really from the same place. It's really from the place of stillness and quiet. And Einstein knew that. Einstein, he said, "I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." He also said, "Creativity is intelligence having fun." I love that quote. And he said, "The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination." He said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." What a genius. What an absolute genius. Yeah. So when teachers, I think Ken Robinson, who was British, he has passed, but he was an advocate for creativity in the schools, and he wrote some beautiful books on why creativity is so important and how children, if they're tapped in to their creativity, they really can sense their sense of self, their aliveness, because everything becomes alive. The sense of creating something within yourself, an expression, is really expression of the divine. I always thought, it's so important to create, but it's also knowing you are created by a creator to create. In the 3D, we are created because, right, in the 3D, we believe we had a creator, right? Our mom and dad created us and God, and now we're living out this creative life and we're creating our own reality. In that perception and that perspective, yes. But obviously, we're also talking about the deeper knowing, the deeper connection, the deeper dimension of who we are, which is source energy. Yeah. And so when we combine that, when we integrate that, yeah, and we can use that creative force in our physical expression, how fantastic, how complete is that? Coming from source energy, flowing your creative juices out there into the world. And that's where all these incredible inventions get invented, right? I had my grandfather's brother was an inventor. He invented the magnetic bobbin for the Singer sewing machine. That was quite an amazing invention. but he sold his invention. He could have been very, very wealthy, but he gave away his patent. But he went on to create a lot of different things too, create a lot of different inventions, which helped a lot of people. And I think that's what we want to do here in this world, right? We want to be able to harness it for the benefit of others and to use our gifts as God gave us our gifts. You know, when you do have gifts, are you using it? Or are you second guessing yourself and not allowing yourself to express it? Yeah. That's where our psychological mind plays havoc on us. Because creativity is very important, but if you don't have the courage to use your creativity, you keep it inside, you don't express it outside there and let other people enjoy, yeah, you're really depleting yourself. So whatever you can express yourself in, could be gardening, it could be cooking, it could be anything, because we're all creative. Every single one of us is creative. We just have to find what lights us up, what we enjoy. I have a friend, she loves to, she has a spinning wheel, and she's actually now learned at 70 some years old how to make her own yarn. And she has a friend who has a sheep farm. She goes there, she sees the sheep, she gets the yarn, she spins it, and she makes her clothes from that now. She's making shawls from her own, you know. Wow, that's pretty basic, right? You get down to really what's the core of it. The sheep, making your own yarn and making something beautiful from it. It's pretty exciting. She's really lit up. She's also a quilter, but she's been working on a quilt that's been taking her 25 years to complete, but she's completing it this year. Yeah, she has the markings to show it, the bruises to show it. Every time the needle goes through that batting, she has to feel it with her finger, and that needle causes it to prick her finger every single time. Can you imagine what her finger looks like? Oh my goodness. But she's dedicated. Oh boy, yes, she is. So what is your excitement? What do you love to do? What lights you up and makes you feel, there's nothing more important than that in that moment. Because as you create, you are totally in the zone. I remember when I paint, hours go by. It's like, wow, is it this late already? I can't believe how time flies. In a way, I don't want time to fly, but in the same token, I am so present that every brush stroke, every time I'm hitting that canvas, I see another place and it flows, and I'm so in there that it just, happens. It's flowing from me without any thought about it. It's just intuitive. And that's where, again, intuition. You have an intuitiveness about it. Your sense where the next color goes. Or as a singer, I can sense when the next note is. I can hear the note before I sing it. So I'll sing it and then there it is. And so where do you find something flowing from you that you want to continue to do that you haven't done in a long time? It's time to bring that back. It's time to take that out of the closet, bring it into your present moment and have fun, because it's fun. And that's what's important. Fun, fun, fun. Dancing lights me up too. Fun, dancing. Let's turn on the music and dance, right? Okay. So I want my guests to please, who wants to talk about their beautiful intuition and creative flows? I want you to share with us. Jessica, do you have anything you want to put in the comments section? Please go ahead. Asana, do you want to say anything? Yeah, we'll bring you in. Okay. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hey. So what lights you up, my sweet?
So, well, what lights me up. I talked about that last time. The thing that lights me up is knowing who I am, knowing that I'm part of I am the divine one. I'm not part of anything. I am that. And we know that just by saying I am, or even just the word I, right, establishes that you exist. So it's a very good place to start, if you need a place to start. And I think you kind of talked about that. By the way, your presentation was wonderful today.
Oh,
I
thank
have
you.
lots of notes. And and so it begins there. And then you mentioned too about being the witness, right? Because you have to be the witness first, because otherwise you go along your life and you have intuition and you get these feelings, but you don't know what they are or what to do with them, or, and so most of the time you'll make decisions against because something's not feeling right. So you'll not do something that you should have done, for instance,
Yes, right.
right? Because you're getting this feeling, but maybe the feeling, and depending on how the feeling was too, is it a feeling doesn't feel good, right? Or something like you said. So sometimes you don't even know why. It's just like something's not exactly in alignment, right? So that's definitely a clue to pay attention. And like you said, be quiet, be the witness, and see what comes up, what comes up for you. So, and I do that second guessing. I just did it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
That had to do with my memory, so I don't know. That would have been very valid.
right. Oh, yeah, memory. And it's funny with memory, right? It's not stored anywhere in the brain. They
Yes,
say there's no place that they can find the memories anywhere in this brain. And where does that thought come back to you from, right? From the
right.
computer.
Where was it sitting all this time? It's in
Where
our
was it?
file cabinet. In our
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned that earlier too about, it's all in our mind. It's where, like you said, where do you store it? Our mind is like a file cabinet. I refer to it to that. It's like, oh yeah, when you get a thought, like if you're even to answer a question like you asked tonight. So what does the brain do? Oh, okay, she's talking about intuition. Well, what do you know about intuition, right? So your mind goes, all right, let's go to the file cabinet, right? So, because it's all based on your own perception of your life,
Right. Yeah.
right? So, yeah, intuition is really interesting. And yeah, when you can tune in and you're present and you can be more in tune to your intuition and trust it more. And then, yeah, too, it also takes trust and faith, right? And it's just through the experience of
Yeah.
not doing what you should have done or doing something that you shouldn't have done, right? Then it's all just
Yeah.
to show us where we need to look at uh, how we're hurting ourselves through
Yeah.
that.
Have you
And
ever denied yourself something that you said, "Ooh, I should not have questioned my intuition. It was really right on, and I was just arguing with it."
oh, sure, I was just being stubborn. Oh, yeah, the mind will always give you an argument. It always says, "Oh no, that's not rational." Here, I'll tell you what's rational, right? And
You have
you're,
an
no,
example of anything in your life that happened that
what?
way? Do you have an example of anything tangible that you wanna share? What happened to you in that
Um,
moment?
um, Nothing's coming up right now.
Okay. Yeah, I had a major thing happen, and then I'll share this with you.
Okay,
Uh,
and then maybe something will come up for me.
yeah, I was, going my girlfriend said, "Hey, you should put a grow light in that, area for your plants to grow."
Mhm.
And I said, "I've never had a grow light before." So, all right. So I took the bulb, the light that helps grow the plant, and put it in
Yeah.
this thing, and I mounted it, secured it. It's a really firm, clamp to, a place near the plant. And as I'm leaving the house, I asked my husband, "Do you think it's safe there?" Because there was something that
Uh,
didn't feel right. I had to ask him. Now this was before I really woke up, because in that moment I relied on somebody else to tell me what I really knew for myself to be true.
mhm,
And he said, "No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it." So I left the house still feeling something was wrong, and I didn't listen. And I went to work, and I got a call from the fire department
uh,
that my house was burning down.
Oh no.
Grow light had fallen onto the couch, igniting the couch, and the whole house went up.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So then after that, I decided, okay, I'm not questioning my intuition. I'm never going to question my intuition again. No, of course, did I live up to that? No. I mean, there were times still where my thoughts would come in and say, there it is. You're overthinking, just let it be. And then again, I would be totally, yes, you're right. I should have listened to my intuition again. So we have to really be quiet, and we have to give ourselves pause. We have to sit back in the moment of that feeling of, whoa, I'm feeling something here. What is it? And be still with it. And then allow yourself to not rush off, but to be quiet. And then, yeah, if it's important, if it's really important, like a house.
Well,
Yes.
that does remind me, I have a house fire story too, my only one of my life. And
Okay.
it was kind of similar. I was actually living with a friend, and my husband came over while I was babysitting that night, and they had a fireplace, and we lit the fireplace, and I'd used it with her many times. So we lit the fireplace, and it was completely out. Well, I guess it seemed like it was completely out. We thought it was anyway, and we went to bed. But I didn't sleep very well, and so something awoke me up, right? And I got up, went downstairs, and found that the fireplace, that the fire didn't go out. It was something faulty about the way the fireplace was built, right?
Mm.
Was never correct. And so it just got hotter and hotter, and then just everything became ablaze. So that was a time that my intuition saved me. Then I woke up my husband, and there was a little boy there too, right? And so he grabbed the boy, and I grabbed my purse, and we ran out the door. But the whole house went down. It was a bad fire. It was the only one I ever had. The interesting part about that is that I had been telling myself, have you ever talked to anybody, like, just in conversation? Oh, what do you have? Do you have any fears? Oh yeah, I'm a fear of falling, or I have a fear of the right. So I'm like, oh, fire, I guess. I think I'd be a fear. So in my mind, somewhere in my mind, right?
Ah,
I thought that fire would be, like the worst thing that could happen to you.
do you think
And
you created
so,
it then?
yeah, so you know,
Yeah.
how did that fire come about? You bet, right? It was it intuition, but it was definitely, I don't
Some,
know if it was intuition. Maybe I smelled the smoke. But I
mhm.
did wake up out of my sleep and
Thank
do
goodness.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, intuition is important. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much, and
Oh,
we'll
thank
see
you.
you next month as a guest. Yay!
Yay! Just
All
let
right.
me
Well,
know when.
all
Okay.
right. You got it, sweetie.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Jessica, you said dancing lights you up. Yes, yes. And we notice as we progress through our life too that other things also come to us, right? We desire to maybe try different things. Um, or we remember that we really enjoyed it as a child and we want to bring it back into our lives. Some people retire and they want to learn piano again, or, right, they have more time now to experience some things that they didn't have time for before. And again, time is an illusion, but we really feel the time crunch if we are a person, so identified as a person, don't we? Oh, another decade's gone by, and boy, we're running out of time, and we better, find things that really. But then, if we do it that way, we're not truly enjoying it, are we? No, we're just using it as a crutch, or we're using it to because we feel a sense of time running out, and then we're not enjoying ourselves. So when we realize that we're not a time bound, the essence of who we are as source is not time bound, it's eternal, then we can bring anything into our moment and just enjoy it for what it is, and not really have a goal about it, not have like, oh, if I do a painting and I can hang it on my wall, or maybe I can make money from it, or that kind of stuff is a means to an end, right? But can you just enjoy it for what it is and not judge it? Can you pick up a paintbrush, slap on some paint, and have fun? A lot of people are very self-critical when it comes to that. My mother was very critical. Yeah, she would stop painting for a while, and then she'd start again because she didn't like what she saw. And that's part of the process when you have to realize that we can't attach ourselves to the outcome. Just let it have an expression of what you are in the moment and enjoy. And don't worry about the outcome at all. Can we do that? When you can do that, you are more in tune with who you are than you ever were before, because you're no longer identified by what you do. You're just having fun in the moment. That's it. Hi, Courtney. How are you? Yay. Glad to see you again. Yes. So think about now where you are in your knowledge of your intuition. Are you in tune? Do you know the difference between a thought that you think in your mind or an impulse that comes up? Because they are different. They're different. The energies are different. So if it comes up in your presence, if you are present now and fully listening to my voice, and all of a sudden something comes up like, wait, I was supposed to call somebody back and I didn't do that, right? Well, that's probably your intuition. Yeah. But if we get attached to our psychological voices that are commentator, that judges and complains and puts ourselves down, puts others down, that's our ego mind. That's your distraction. That's what's trying to take you out of this moment by filling you with something to do so you don't have to be here now. And that's what you don't want to listen to. That's not the intuition voice. That is your ego mind. And it's like a child wanting your attention. So experiment. Say, hey, is that it or is this it? Whatever, have fun with it. Your ego is doing its thing and you can witness it and say, okay, I see you. You're pretty funny. Very funny. I mean, I make fun of my ego all the time, but I don't want to give it any fuel either, because it'll stay around too long and then it'll distract me. And then all of a sudden it'll push a button and off I go. But I don't stay there long because I know it's trickery. Yeah. But understand that you are full of wonder. You are a mystery. Within yourself, you are connected with source energy. And where that is in your expression, in your form, can come out in so many beautiful ways, through your intuition, through your creative energies, and through your beautiful, joyous spirit. So just allow yourself to be expressive in the moment. And again, have fun about it. Courtney, thank you. Love and light to you too. Yes. And that's where we are. We are love and light. That's who we are. So let your light shine through. Enjoy it with others. Be present for them. And be a blessing, as people are a blessing in your life. And as you see people shining their light back at you, recognizing yourself in their eyes, and they recognize themselves in your eyes, you are so connected. And this is all about one, the one. There's no separation here. We're all part of the one stream. And so what you're pulling in when you are totally awake and alive, you're also feeling the creative juices of the world, the creative energies out there that are flowing. And you'll probably, want to line up with all of that. Things will be popping up. Oh, let's go to this concert. Let's go to that art opening. Let's go drumming. Let's go dancing. Let's have fun. And meeting friends will come your way that want to have fun with you. And I have a bunch of friends that love to dance every Sunday, and that's where I'm at every Sunday. So hook up with your joy. Yeah, Jessica, confidence. Yes. Hook up with your joy and have the confidence to be that. Yeah. Because in source energy, really, there's no doubt. that you are that. And you're going to be where you need to be at the right time, at the right place, in the right moment. So we'll see you next moment to moment, next week. Until then, enjoy yourself, enjoy your friends, enjoy your light and your love, and share it with the world. Namaste.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.